I have picked a date, and I say starting August the 1st, for the entire month of August, we boycott African-owned businesses.
I'm making this video because I wanted to support Shaya's Shelf, who is promoting a protest for August 1st. Complete blackout on African braiding shops.
And if you think for 1 second that I'm going back to subjecting myself to Hey Boo text the day of my appointment and paying $200 for 6 stitch braids, you're out of your fucking mind.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a hot topic that's been setting TikTok on fire. Now it's a viral boycott starting on August 1st that's targeting African-owned braid salons. Yes, exactly. So a TikTok creator named Shay is calling on people to stop supporting African braiders, and the internet is not keeping quiet about this. Now she has got recruiters and she has got people saying, I'm not going to follow you on this one. Now, without wasting too much time, let's quickly look at these videos of her suggesting people stop going to African salons by 1st of August.
Hi guys. So listen, I made this post to boycott the African braid shops. And honestly, I didn't expect it to pick up as much momentum as it did, but it did, and I think it's a good thing. And like I said, I don't just talk about it, I bees about it. So, since it's picking up so much momentum, since we are in a paradigm shift, and since we as Black Americans are really sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of telling them we are sick and tired of being beat, battered, bullied, and abused by every ethnicity that is not a Black American, I have picked a date, and I say starting August the 1st, for the entire month of August, we boycott African-owned businesses. That includes restaurants, hair salons, braid shops, etc., etc. It's time to show them that our Black American dollar is what runs this damn country. We are no longer tolerating disrespect. We are demanding it. We have been punching bags long enough. No more. So, I say again, August 1st, we're going to start, and for the entire month of August, no support for African businesses from Black America. Now, there are some of you in the comments that are saying, well, if we're going to do this to our own people, to Africans, which, by the way, they're not our own people, they are not Black American, and they don't even want to associate themselves with us, but I digress. If we're going to do this to them, then y'all are saying, well, we should do this to the Asians. We should do this to the Arabs. We should do this to this. I agree. And if you want to do that, start your cause. Shit, again, I bees in the trap. I'm about this life. We can do one ethnicity a month for all I care. Start your cause. Get out my comments. Start your cause, and we'll follow it. That's it. Don't challenge me to do it. I'm doing what I believe in right now. So you do what you believe in right now. This one is August. Pick who you want to do for the month of September. State your case, start your cause, share your video that is motivating this, and rally the troops. I'm all in. But right now, for the month of August, August 1st through August 31st, no support for African businesses. All right? And as I always say, Black American power.
Okay, so I have some things to say about this. I'm not supporting anybody in any way, but I just want to let people know that there is something called free will. Like free will. Nobody is forcing you to go to these people to get your hair done. So why are you making it look like they are forcing you? Nobody is literally forcing anybody to go to anybody's shop to get anything done, whether it's restaurant, whether it's hair braiding, whether it's nail salon. Like nobody is forcing anybody, you know. But anyway, let's keep going. There was somebody that actually supported her, actually a group of people that actually supported her, but we're just going to say a few before we get right into what people are saying about this.
I'm making this video because I wanted to support Shaya's Shelf, who is promoting a protest for August 1st. Complete blackout on African braiding shops, restaurants, and stores, right? I'm absolutely here for this. I'm showing my support because I do this in my everyday life. I do not shop with the Africans. Ain't no African ever braided my hair, put their hands in my head, or none of that, right? I don't do the restaurants. I stopped like years ago. I do not shop with their stores. If I walk into a store and I accidentally realize, oh, not for me, right? So she's encouraging that we do an August 1st protest all through the month of August. I think it should continue throughout for the rest of the year, right? Let them really feel the heat, okay? Because they are confused about who they are, who we are, and what this is all about, right? They're so busy licking boots, they don't seem to want to give us our respect. They need a wake-up call, right? Because clearly they don't understand that the large majority of why you are even in the space that you're in is because of us, and that our dollars are the ones that pay your bills. Because we black them out. I want to see how many white people finna support y'all, right? I want to see how many of y'all businesses is really going to be able to stay afloat month after month of black people not supporting you, right? Like, let's really be about it. So in support of Shaya's Shelf, I am even pushing past August, but it starts August 1st, okay? Complete, total blackout on Africans, period, okay? Let them know what time it is.
Guys, this is scary. The thing is just, I mean, coming on social media and saying, let's start a protest, or do these people know what protest is? Like, this is scary, guys. But anyway, let's keep going.
I'm not even going to sugarcoat it with y'all no more, or none of that. I'm flat out, I'm going to tell it like it is. If I think you African, if I look at you, and trust me, we can tell, okay? We can tell that y'all are African. We can tell. There's an energy, there's an aura, there's a vibe, okay? How y'all walk, talk, move, dress, wear y'all hair, how y'all express yourselves, the choice of words you choose to use, even when you have been Americanized. We can tell, okay? So let's just throw that out there. I am blocking you. I am blocking you. If you are a Pan-African Black American, I am blocking you. Okay? If you talking that I move back to Ghana, back to Africa, the motherland, I'm blocking you. Okay? I'm not playing them type of Hunger Games. Alright? I know where I come from. I know where my blood is. I know where my land is. I know where my people are from. And that's just what it is. I don't have no ties to Africa. I don't feel the motherland calling me. I don't feel united with Africans. We don't have anything in common. Our experience in the world is not the same. You and I could not sit down and have a conversation, because I guarantee I would say something that would not make no sense to you, and now we having a back and forth. I can't. Okay? And then I distinctly remember growing up in an era where Africans, because I went to school with a bunch of them, were not playing with us. They were not allowed to have American friends, Black American friends. They did not like us. They would tell us that their parents did not like us, that they told them that they could not play with us, that we can't be friends, that they can't talk to us, right? Okay. They often use, you don't know where you from, or you don't know your native language, or and the whole time, because we are laughing, looking at them like, bro, we're from America. We are Americans, okay? Y'all are from Africa. You come from a whole nother continent. Yes, you're going to speak another language because you come from a whole nother continent. Why would I be in America speaking whatever? That don't make no sense, especially when our blood ties is from here. What it is jealousy, and we all been known it. I've been known it. You can talk all of that bap all you want to, but if you really do your history and you look at Liberia, the start of America, the start of this country, right? The migration of human beings in this country, our people was already here. Then your people, Mansa Musa, came here.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to stop there because she's taking it to a whole different level. Now, this is not just about boycotting Africans or anything. She's taking it personal. You talk like African, your vibe is like an African. She's going to block you. She has taken her own a step further than required. But this is very concerning, honestly, because Now I'm thinking it's not just about boycotting African owned businesses, it's now something personal. And why feel the need to recruit people into these movements? If it's something you don't want to do, just don't get involved, you know?
And y'all can say what y'all want, but y'all going up in these African shops and getting cussed out and getting played in and getting brazen big in the middle and little around the edges. Then y'all talking about something. Africans is not the problem. Yes, they is. Yes, they is. And y'all condone it because y'all love convenience. Y'all love to go sit up in somebody bikini bottom, the bottom of bikini bottom, as long as it come with quick self-serve checkout braids. I ain't never seen nobody that don't want to go sit at nobody. They always gonna be quick. Oh, 15 people was on my head. The disrespect that y'all go through going to the African braid shop, y'all are the reason why they keep opening up 15 shops. Y'all over here giving them y'all hard-earned money and they cussing you out, slapping you in the face, putting synthetic hair in your head, doing y'all any kind of way. Doing y'all any kind of way. And like I said, I don't care. If you got good service, you just got good service. If you a bad braider, you a bad braider. You a good braider, you a good braider. I'm not no hater. But the way I keep scrolling down my timeline, that's why I don't double tap African. When I see y'all, oh, come with me to go get my hair done. Let me go get my hair done. Let me go over there and get cussed out. Let me go over there and get the middle big and the outside little. Let me go over there and do that. And then get treated like dog crap. Then you got to hold the baby. Then you got to take them home. Then you don't even get a discount. All I'm saying is, I would rather go, what is that, eat crumbs with bombs, then let somebody, treat me any kind of way and get them that money because of convenience. And I said what I said. It don't make no sense how they keep popping up. They got shops each. Don't mind my jiggly arm, I can cook. But it don't make no sense how they got all these shops up around here and they treating y'all. Folks slapping folks. Where's the professionalism? Let it been a black-owned business. Let it been a black-owned business right here. They get on Facebook and bash black-owned business like it ain't nothing. But Africans can do whatever they want to do. Yeah, bye.
Okay, guys, well, so I've actually done a couple of videos here on my channel where people complain about how they got treated in the African braiding salon. And I get it. You know, it's not the best of treatment. Some people feel really humiliated. Some people feel sad. Some people feel like they did not get their money's worth because, like she said, the middle is big parts braids and then the edges are like really small parts braids. But not to side anybody. This is just to tell you that just get who does your hair perfectly and keep going to the person. If you have a bad experience in a shop, you're going to get your hair braided the next time. Look for another person, that will treat you the way you like. You don't have to keep going back to the person you had a bad experience with. So let's quickly go right ahead and see how the people are responding to this proposed protest.
So I heard August 1st is the day that the girlies are talking about they want to boycott African braiding businesses and African businesses as a whole. Why don't you start today? Why don't you start today? Like, don't wait. Don't give yourself a week. Start today. Because at this point, this discussion, the diaspora wars, the colorism talks, is dangerous. Like, it's dangerous. And as black people, we are not progressing. Because how can you sit there and say, off of like one experience, off of this, off of that, I'm just going to cut ties with African businesses? Like, let's be honest. You're going to the beauty supply store, you're supporting the Asians. Mind you, you still have to walk out and show your receipt. Clearly they don't trust you, but you still support that. Now let's go into the clothes that you want on your back and the fashions that you guys dream of getting. These European brands, y'all not boycotting them, but y'all still spending a bag in Gucci, Louis, Prada, and you can't even feel comfortable to just walk around and just shop. But y'all not boycotting that business. But you want to boycott African braiding shops and African businesses because of an experience? Living in New York as a Nigerian American, I used to go to Harlem to get my hair braided. A time to be alive was when them aunties was recruiting you from the train. And as you're walking to the braiding shop, you're negotiating the price of how much your braids are going to be. Back then, before the pandemic, braids was like $60 to $80. That was a time to be alive in New York.
Okay, I will travel all the way from Brooklyn to Harlem to get my braids done. Whoever got on this damn app and started opening their mouths and said, oh yeah, in Harlem they doing braids for 120, they doing braids for 140. Now it's 200. And now you have to book appointments. Never in my New York City life have I ever had to book an appointment to go to Harlem. And now let's pull back another layer. And growing up Nigerian in New York, the things that y'all posting online and like ready to fight these aunties over at these African braiding shops, I'm sorry to tell you, but they are normal. Like, it is normal. I will always know when I go into my aunt's shop, my aunt's braiding shop in the morning, and this is in Brooklyn. This is not in Harlem. I'm talking about in Brooklyn. When I would go in there at 8 a.m., I was probably leaving at 10 p.m. Y'all have the luxury of like getting a 4 or 5 hour because they're now trying to accommodate for a lot of people. The influx of people that's not only coming from New York, the different boroughs. You got people coming from Houston. You got people coming from Connecticut. You got people coming from D.C. to do their braids. You got what I'm saying? It was normal to be dishing out hair, giving out the hair to your aunt because you wanted your hair to go faster. It was normal, even back then before they had the pre-stretched hair, to help your aunt pull the hair. Pull the expression here, like stretch the expression here. But these are the things that y'all are complaining about because you're paying a cheaper price. You can go to Fantasia up the block and pay $500 to $800 for the same braids. You're going to go to Fatima's braiding shop to get for $180, but y'all gonna complain about the experience. I'm sorry to say these African braiding shops should have been gay capped because a lot of y'all are not ready for what comes with African braiding shops. And then these conversations are so dangerous because you're also saying, because I went to one place or I went to various places, the whole continent has to suffer. In Harlem, and I'm just talking about my New York experience, but I don't know what the girlies are talking about. Maybe they talking about the African braiding shops in like different states, but the African braiding shops that are known in New York are in Harlem, right? So if you're going to Harlem, a lot of those African braiding shops, I know, are not Nigerian, are not Ghanaian. Those are French colonized African countries. So you got the aunties from Guinea, you got aunties from Senegalese, you got aunties from Gabon, from Mali. So you telling me your experience at one of these shops is telling your brain that, oh yeah, because I had a bad experience here, you'd even try out other African braiding shops around the world, around the state, around your city, that, oh yeah, we need to boycott it. But y'all want to support African businesses in different aspects of your life. Starting off with the Afro beats. Secondly, Deti December. Y'all don't need to be catching a flight to Nigeria or Ghana. Y'all don't. You don't. You don't need to go to South Africa to go listen to Amapiano. Since you want to boycott all these businesses, do it in all aspects of your life. Don't just do it for the hair braiding shops because it's actually absurd. That's why I said this discussion is dangerous. It's not making us black people progressive. Honestly, how are we supposed to get better, be better as people if we're sitting there battling each other, talking about, oh, how we're not going to support the next black person or the next African? Are we serious right now? Are we serious? Like, it's crazy. And I really do think these discussions need to stop, regardless or not, because it's just like y'all coming on this internet, y'all just saying anything. Some things do not need to be said, and it's okay. You can journal it. You can literally go to a therapist and speak about it. But coming to the internet and saying, oh, let's boycott African businesses, African braiding shops, is crazy. It's crazy. Because if you're going to do that, you need to step up to the plate and do it to the other ethnicities, other races that literally haven't been treating us well either. What the hell?
She made some points with what she said. It's really dangerous. If you guys heard me from the beginning, I said something like that. This is not even a discussion that people should indulge in, it's really dangerous because now people are going to take it a step further, just like that lady that took it too personal. People are going to make it whatever they want to make of it, and before you know it, it's getting out of hand.
I don't know about your FYP, but lately on my FYP, I have been seeing African Americans saying on the 1st of August they're going to boycott African businesses because they're not American. I've been seeing a lot of those videos. They believe they're not Africans. Some were even going to the extent of saying they don't have African features. And African Americans don't come for me, but there's African American behind your, is it tied to your ethnicity, your background? But you don't think you're African. I'm not saying you're African like you were born in Africa. And by the way, Africa is a continent. There's like 54 countries in there. Yeah, just putting it out there. Okay, you guys, obviously, some of you don't know your roots. Some of you know your roots. I am so sorry about what happened decades of years ago to you guys. Okay, I apologize on behalf of our ancestors. I apologize. But this is the thing. You're African. Sorry to be a bearer of bad news. Yeah, you're African. Like, there's African American behind your identity. Yes, you might know you were not born in Africa like we were born in Africa, but your ancestors were from Africa. I don't know. American school system. What do they teach you? Actually, you know what? Scrap that. The white people have blown all the school off. So I'm trying to like.
Just trying to choose really nice words.
Some of the ladies are saying, I don't have, even men as well, I don't have African features. But some of you are traveling to Turkey to get your nose pointed because it looks too African and too... Am I bugging? Am I bugging? I'm not saying don't cancel African businesses. If you want to, by all means, but it's just the fact that you guys, I'm not saying claim African because you're not born there. You were not raised there. You don't know your background. You don't know where. I understand that, but it is still part of your identity. Are you African? Someone like me, yes, I know my background. I know where I've come from. I've come from Nigeria. I was born there. I grew up in England. My citizenship is not by birth. My children, however, their citizenship is by birth because they were born here. But are they going to go around and go, oh, I am British? Yeah, they are British because they were born here, but they're Black British, they're African British. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? African Americans? African Americans? Like, come on, you guys, like, stop. This is becoming ridiculous on this app. Like, come on. We're all this color. If we're this color, maybe different shades of melanin, we are one. Stop this. Stop. Africans, Americans, the heck?
The way she explained it with her children is like the perfect example. But at the end of the day, people are still going to do what they want to do. Like, my point exactly is why feel the need to recruit others to do what you want to do based off just one experience you had. Okay, maybe two, but at least, like, there's free will. Like, you don't have to go to a place that didn't treat you well.
Do you guys understand that you have free will? Nobody is forcing you to braid your hair with African hair braiding shops. Do you guys understand that you can book with Black Americans through their Instagram, their link in their bio? Go ahead and pay your $500, $600, $700, $800, $1,000 for braids. Nobody is begging you to go and braid your hair for $200. These microaggressions against Africans, in fact, it's not even micro anymore. These are macroaggressions against Africans is getting concerning, is getting out of hand. Because not everything is a fight, not everything is an argument, not everything is outrage. You guys let Asians, Caucasians, Hispanics get away with everything, right? But when it comes to Africans, that is where you guys show power, which is fine. Let me tell you something. Black Americans are not the only group to spend money in African hair braiding shops. Africans exist in America. We are here. We spend money with our people also. So just like we spend money with you guys, we spend money everywhere as long as it is convenient, right? So let's stop acting like you guys were doing Africans a favor by getting your hair braided with Africans. You get your hair braided with Africans because it's cheap. It's very simple. So if you don't want to do that anymore, then don't do it. Go braid your hair with your people. It does not have to be an argument. Nobody's begging you. It's simple. Like, every time outrage, backlash. You guys don't get tired? Like, come on.
Honestly, like, it doesn't have to be an argument. It really doesn't have to be an argument. Like, there are important things you really need to argue about, and there's some things like, nah, don't worry. It's because, like, Why are you arguing about this? Like she clearly said, it's a simple thing. You don't want Africans to get your hair done. Don't go to them. There's so many other places you can go to, and people have been going to those other so many other places. So, what seems to be the issue?
And if you think for 1 second that I'm going back to subjecting myself to Hey Boo text the day of my appointment and paying $200 for 6 stitch braids, you're out of your fucking mind. And if you think I'm finna give up jollof rice and a goosey soup, you've lost your marbles, okay? And if you think I'm going back to partying where there's no one dancing, everybody just standing around, and there's no Afro beats, there's no Amapiano, you see this? My badge of honor, okay? I am an Amapiano warrior. I'm not going back. So who's boycotting Africans? Who? And I need y'all Africans, please, y'all just making the situation worse because y'all responded to it. Like, stop gassing it up. It's like nobody wants the diaspora wars to end. Like, when is it gonna be like, okay, enough is enough, right? It feel like our kids are gonna be still participating in diaspora wars when we're long gone, and that is a shame. Like, what is the real issue for real? But enough is enough. Please stop making videos on this topic. Let it die down. Like, everybody stop on both sides. Thank you.
So, from what we're seeing, basically, people are not indulging in this. I want to call it ridiculous protest, but I mean, guys, just to keep it respectful, people are not indulging in this protest, and I mean, it makes sense. It really makes sense because it doesn't make sense to indulge in something that doesn't affect you directly, you know?
Y'all can't boycott Lulu or Starbucks, but you can boycott African braiding shops. Please, can we get a fucking grip? Actually, the same African braiders that don't have a whole entire fucking list of requirements that you must have done to your hair before you walk in that bitch. The same African hair braiders that you can easily just like quite literally walk into, don't need an appointment, don't have no deposit cancellation fee, don't have none of that bullshit. The same ones that are like fully licensed to do what the fuck they're doing. No, y'all would rather go to like the fake ass veneer techs, like the same unlicensed hair braiders. What the fuck? Me personally, I do my own hair. But when I didn't do my own hair, guess what the fuck I was going to? Promise you, it wasn't old girl who was doing that shit at her room charging $350 fucking dollars. Promise you, it was not old girl who looked at me in my face and said she did not know what she could do with my hair because of the texture. I'm just confused on why y'all would want to boycott them. They know how to do that shit. And if you wanted to the scalp, baby, trust and fucking believe they gonna do that and some. And they're not gonna charge you an arm and a fucking leg. And you don't have to come with your hair completely straightened out. You don't have to change the texture of your hair to get it braided at all. You could quite literally take your hair out and walk in that bitch and they're gonna figure it out. Like I said though, I do my own hair. I think that's what y'all need to do too if you're gonna be boycotting and bitching and moaning, because I promise y'all gonna come up on here in a couple months bitching and moaning about the hair braiders. The ones that you are paying to do this shit. That are whoring y'all left and fucking right. But I digress. Y'all have fun boycotting them. I will not be a part of that shit.
Oh my god, the way she explained it is quite funny. I had fun listening to her speak, but I mean, guys, I guess we just have to see how this whole thing plays out.
I came purposely looking like this because when I say I'm going to get my hair done, box braids. Y'all can go ahead and boycott the African braider shops anyway, because all y'all be getting is knotless anyway. Let us real braider, hair, let us go get our real braids, box braids, bohemian box braids, waterway, all that. All y'all get is knotless. Go to your homegirl up the street and get them done then. And then don't have the nerve to live in Georgia because all of the tire shops on the south side, east side is owned by Africans. So y'all, good luck on that. What are you going to do when you break down and you need a tire? You're not going to go to the Africans? Call Midas. Oh, better yet, call AAA. Wait, a lot of y'all don't got that. Make it make sense. Y'all are banning or boycotting an entire continent of people. Back to school coming.
The way she's reminding them of when they'll really need African braiders is just so funny because honestly, like, the back to school is coming, and I mean, it's a whole continent they're trying to boycott. Wow.
There's been a lot of xenophobia happening in the black community within the diaspora, but most importantly, the supremacy happening in the African American community, and that's been very interesting to witness. But ultimately, the most interesting conversation that came from that is the "we're boycotting African braiding shops" conversation. If you don't know, there's a growing movement for African Americans to boycott African braiding shops. Ask me, what did African braiding shops do? Nothing, because the issue is not necessarily with them. But before we start here, let me give you the parallels of why I think this is so interesting. Be mindful that one of the cultures of America is to be self-centered, and it's ingrained into Americans of all sorts, including African Americans. It's not meant as an insult, but that's just how it is. On one side, we're talking about boycotting African braiding shops as a retaliation towards something that they had nothing to do with, really, but we could not boycott companies that actually harmed us as a community. McDonald's, Starbucks, Lululemon. And to put a pin in that, to connect it to a different pin, just about 2 years ago, we were having a conversation about Braiders. We talked about Braiders being very unprofessional, Braiders coming in late, Braiders were just not up to quality. They were asking for too much money, right? $500 for knotless braids. I'm coming up in your house, your kid is there, it's making a lot of noise, you're late, you're not giving my refund. A lot of these conversations were being had by black women of all sorts. However, in the comments, quite frequently, you would see people say, well, that's why I go to my African braiding shop, because they are this, that, and the third. They have been in the business for far longer, and they can learn new styles, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They were quite grateful to have that second option because the alternative was not working. And that's, okay. The second side is the reason as to why the boycott is happening. If you guys don't know, the boycott is happening because of Essence Fest. From my understanding, the Essence Festival is a Black American festival, right? It celebrates Black American culture, especially its history in America. Unfortunately, in an act that's so familiar about Black businesses being sold to other foreign entities or whatever, Essence got sold to a group of Africans. Basically, from then on, the Black American culture was dissolved out of Essence and it became something more resembling of Afro Nation, I suppose. And I'm saying I suppose to drastically show you the comparison, really, between African American culture and African culture. Like, you understand it went from point A to point B. And African Americans are upset, which for me is valid. It's reasonable. This was a celebration of your culture, right? Cool. And so let's put a pin in that right here. The plot twist, though, is rather than petitioning Essence, boycotting Essence, or even talking about how Essence sold out and this is an Essence issue, Essence needs to be an African American culture-based festival, the animosity was geared straight towards Africans. The entire pillar of capitalism was missed and skipped by a lot of creators who talked about it, and instead they targeted Africans, which became a heated conversation between two parties. And this is where I refer back to what I said in the beginning, which is like America tends to be very self-centered. Because if I called my cousin right now who's been in the country for 20 years, who's a Black woman who loves makeup, and I said, hey, what's Essence Fest? She's gonna say it's a festival and have no understanding that it's connected to Black American culture. Unfortunately, African American culture is not explored and shared and learned as it should be globally, even in the country. And so a lot of people, frankly, just didn't know that Essence was a primarily African American culture based festival. The thing is, people would go and enjoy Essence Festival without understanding the background. So they'll just enjoy that there are Black people, Black foods, people are happy, people are having a good time, but they're lacking the nuance that it was an African American based festival. And so rather than targeting these kind of conversations, these kind of questions, Essence, you shouldn't have done that. And to the people who bought Essence, this is what Essence is ultimately about. Essence should have never sold out, It was instead pointed towards Africans. And the conversation has evolved to now, because Africans bought Essence and made it African, we are no longer spending our African American dollars at African baiting shops. Also, special edition, there is some pressure from Kenya ultimately trying to puppeteer to get its hands on the African American dollar, which is very true, unfortunately. Which gets interesting because one of the people I follow often says that there are conversations you cannot have online, and I think this is one of them, because rather than focusing on, like, for example, the Kenyan government doing that, and the Kenyan government trying to manipulate itself into getting to the African American dollar, instead it's become a whole conversation about how Africa is asking for reparations, which they're not. How Africa is doing this, which they're not. Africa is a whole continent. It is it's populated by countries. We're not even talking about specifics. We're not even talking about an entire focal point. It's just become a conversation about, once again, xenophobia, and unfortunately African Americans separating themselves from every other Black demographic because of a lot of trauma, misunderstandings, and lack of communication and a bunch of other shit. And that's the entire conversation. Pin it somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, so will I say I kind of like got educated? Wow, who would have thought? Anyway, guys, this is not exactly what we're talking about. The conversation of today is basically about Black Americans boycotting African breeding shop, right? But I mean, guys, I understand on what she said, where she said there are some conversations that should not happen online. And the reason why I want to add this boycotting African breeding shops to that is because some people might take this the other way around. Some people might make of this what they want to make of this. Some people might take this way too far. Before you know, things are getting out of hand. So many bad things might start happening, and we don't want that. It's just a case of free will. You don't want to patronize somebody, don't patronize somebody. You don't have to recruit people. And the thing is, some people are so gullible that when you tell them, I don't want you to patronize this set of people, they'll say, oh, okay, okay. They'll just follow suit. It's like, can't you think for yourself? You know, that's my fear. But at the end of the day, guys, it is what it is. They said it's starting August 1st. Let's see what happens August 1st, guys. But yes, beautiful people, have come to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give the video a fat thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.